Hi. So, what I want to mention first before I read this question is that I can't do a lot of these in a short amount of time. And the reason why is because it creates stress on my body physically. And although you see I'm just sitting in a chair, stress is MS's worst enemy. So, but I'll get to them. I just can't do a large amount in one time. But everyone is seen and everyone will be attended to. If not, just give me a nudge again. Also, it may be best if you send me private email through the YouTube application. Um, I'm able to kind of look down those a little bit more easily. So let's go to a question that a very long subscriber has asked. Not only a long subscriber, but like so many of you, has been an active participant in the community, trying to help others, trying to answer questions when others ask questions, and most of all, showing empathy. This is Kayaya, and this is on the public comment uh, portion of the video I did. I'm glad to have all of you, and I really want to point out that Kaya and others like her, or him, it could be him, um, really is what makes up the community by helping each other. Thank you. Tom, your videos have been a sanity saver. You pretty much covered the territory of narcissism beautifully. One question I have concerns those of us with a few years of no contact. Typically, we have read up on narcissism, been part of this community, watched, made videos, or sought therapeutic support in other ways. And now we're coming out the other side. The anger is lessened. We know about gaslighting, projection, and other manipulative behaviors. We are moving forward, feeling better, happier, stronger. Yet it never really goes away. I'd like to reach a point where it rarely occupies or affects my time, my thoughts, or my relationships with others. Is this possible? Or do we just have to accept we'll always carry some legacy, like arthritic pain from an old fracture, something that niggles us but is overall manageable? So, first the short answer, then I'll expand. Yes, you are going to get to the point of where it just nudges you a little bit, but it's going to be overall manageable. And this is why I try to really stress on so many people that you will come out of this second by second, moment by moment, and so on. It's really difficult, but there will come a time where you look at it as much like you would look at a scar and say, boy, that day really sucked, but it doesn't hurt me anymore. So, how do I know this? Well, remember, I reconnected with the narcissist after 25 years of no contact. So this is going to be a little bit of a complex answer because it has to do with age also. So during those 25 years of no contact, I had lots going on. I was healthy, I was active, I was romantically involved. I was working full time like a workhorse. So I had all these other things keeping me occupied, keeping my brain occupied from what was really going on. Well, I'll give you a little personal note about myself. So during that time, I was young and dumb, and we're idiots when we're young. I'm sorry, but what I didn't realize during that time is that I need to speak to a professional counselor. So going back into the 70s and 80s, that wasn't really such a big thing as it is now. And certainly no one knew, specifically me, about narcissism. I did know I was abused. I did know I was physically abused. I knew I was sexually abused to the point where it would shock even by today's standards on global abuse. But I didn't seek the help I needed. I didn't think about that. Maybe because I was so damaged and so afraid that I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to man up and say, this is what's happening to me. But the point is that I had so much more things going on in my social life, my work life, that I had less time to think about the damage that was done. Also, I had a bit of a machismo attitude. That and I used to say this when I was young. I used to say, "Boy, I don't know how I didn't come out of that crazy." And so I ignored it. I put it on a shelf, and that was it. But I had all these other things going on in my life that would stop or at least hold off the thoughts of what I had went through. Something that no child should have to go through. If you're an abused spouse, something that no spouse should have to go through. Abuse is abuse is abuse is abuse. Whether you're a child or a spouse or you have a significant other, man or woman, abuse is abuse. And it doesn't matter if anyone else feels it's abuse. If you feel you've been abused, you've probably been abused. So I had that in my earlier years all going on. So I was able to block that out. The 25 years I had of no contact was absolutely beautiful. It was terrific. I really had no, boy, I basically say, wow, she's really nuts. What I really didn't realize is how sick and deprived that narcissistic person was. And even after I reconnected, I found out some truths that truly shocked me. Truths that I'm working on now that has not only to do with the narcissist, but others involved. Call it a ring, if you will. And I'm not just talking about a narcissistic ring. I'm talking about a ring that's really, by today's standards, even unbelievable. So I'm dealing with that now. But what about when we get older? I had a letter from, I believe it was a woman, the other day, up in our ages. So will it ever leave us? I can only tell you that I think no, that it won't ever truly leave us. But as you really beautifully articulated it, that it'll come back with just a nudge. And that comes with time. But most of all, how do you get there? How do you get, even in your older age, how do you get there where it just gives you a little bit of a nudge and you kind of say, boy, that sucked, but I'm okay. I'm past it. Well, my strongest suggestion would be this, is to put you first. Now, some may say, that sounds narcissistic. No, it's not. You got to take care of yourself first. You got to love and be kind to yourself. And that doesn't mean that you should put off others or you put them as third and fourth and fifth place. That means you have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to give yourself the gift of forgiveness, that it wasn't your fault. Give yourself the gift of forgiveness, not the narcissist. Now, a lot of other people will disagree with me on that, but I've been through it twice, hardcore. The second time nearly killed me. I will never, ever, ever forgive that narcissist. I tried it once after 25 years of no contact. So, as time goes by and you consider yourself worthy, as time goes by and you consider yourself a good person and you're comfortable with yourself and you like yourself, and that takes time, but as that time goes on, that narcissist will fade like a ghost. Woo! They'll just start blending away and blending away. And that's why it's so important that if the narcissist contacts you by any means, in a letter, a birthday card, rip it up, throw it away, don't even open it. Email, delete it. Because that's still giving the narcissist supply. And what is that doing? That's still reminding you. And that's what they want. They want to be part of their lives. They want to give you a nudge. Hey, remember me? I'm still here to screw with you. So will it ever really leave us? No, it really won't. But just like a scar on your arm, you're going to remember it. You're going to remember how sucky it was. You're going to remember what an evil, sick, nasty person that was. But if you take care of yourself first, You're not going to look at yourself and say, why didn't I? You're not going to blame yourself if you give yourself that time of no contact and taking care of yourself, looking at yourself as being worthy. The key there is the more kind you are to yourself, the more that you love yourself, the more that you realize that it wasn't your fault, that you were involved somehow with a very, very, very sick cluster B personality type person. The more you realize that, the more healthier you're going to become. However, you have to add those no contact rules. All right? That means the flying monkeys. No contact is no contact. They will always try to remind you somehow, through someone, directly, through the post office. I had one person that wrote me that said they sent the police car to their house. And that was a letter I read the other day. They'll somehow let you know that they're still there, they're still valid, they're still breathing. That way they still have control over you. No, they don't. That card, throw it away. Don't open it. The email, bounce it, block it, delete it. The phone call, change your number, block the number, whatever you have to do to make sure that the narcissist cannot have that supply of thinking that they still have that little bit of influence on you. Because you know what? The healthier you become, the longer time goes on, the more that you love yourself and realize that you are indeed worthy and a good person, their influence, their supply is cut, it's downgraded, it's eliminated. And that's where they choke. I'm going to go back to a quick video that I had last year, I think it was, where someone had written on revenge of the narcissist. And it's even a book. I watched the video very clearly, several times. Don't ever, ever, ever try revenge on the narcissist. First of all, that's negative supply. That the narcissist loves that. It's still supply. The narcissist realizes that you're in their life, that they touched you somehow. Even if they get furious, they get injured, and they go into a narcissistic rage, that is supply to them. So you got to keep that out of your repertoire. You got to keep revenge very, very far away. It doesn't work. It could hurt you. And it could certainly hurt your mental health and your progress going forward. Will that inkling always be there in the back of our mind? Yeah. But that doesn't mean you nor I cannot live happy, productive lives no matter what our age. Thank you for the question. I'm wishing you peace and thank you for being part of the community.